Hello, hello, and welcome back to Quantum Break. Sean, good to see you. And your slightly fractured ear, I'm sorry to hear about that. We're on Act 4. And I can't wait. The Port Donnelly Bridge. To briefly explain, I was hoping we would be able to stream this on some new hardware, but I'm having those early woes that often come with new hardware. So we're just back on the old setup, and back in Quantum Break. I want to make sure we have this all tied up neatly before we move on to any of our new adventures. If indeed we can move on to any of our new adventures. Ahem. See aforementioned hardware woes. Anyway, nothing to do with Quantum Break. Hey there. Welcome back. Let me see if I can remember how to navigate Sean Ashmore through time here, and hopefully they'll give us a previously on for the story. Crossing my fingers. Sean, cross both bisected halves of your ear, if you wouldn't mind. That's a lucky boy. So the load times, would be rather faster on that new hardware I mentioned, but we're not going to be bitter about it. We're just going to enjoy our time. Act 4. The Secret History of Time Travel. I didn't know there was a history of time travel. I guess that's why it's a secret. It's all coming together now. Not going to be bitter about the load times. That's not what Saturdays are for, no. Saturdays are for good cheer and the occasional pout. But not bitterness, not outright.
You needed to survive, Dr. Amaral. That made you priority one.
Yeah, they made that clear. Monarch lined every escape route with barricades, roadblocks. I had to get to the mainland, but I couldn't do it by car. Needed a new plan.
All right, let's go.
I had to grow some wings, and here's where the story gets really interesting. No, I don't think that's canonical.
Beth, I think I'm gonna need a ride. The streets are too hot.
Literally, ouchie. Floor is lava,
I
Beth.
find some higher ground and get a good look at the situation on the bridge.
Oh.
I think it might be a no-go.
This graffiti is adorable. I'm trying to remember controls here. See, we have dashing and rushing and dodging. Yes. We have our time sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't have to. Alright. So sorry. It's been like 2 weeks since I've played this. And my apologies. I have been embroiled in a certain scandal. And a little bit tied up. I guess we're going this way. Hello all in the chat. So nice to see you there.
A lot of Monarch. I don't know. Maybe you could sneak across?
Well, maybe.
Or I can pick you up. Let me know. Pretty exposed out
Alright,
here,
we're
so
rooftopping
try to make
it.
Fast.
I'll be a lot better when you get me on that boat. Monarch's right on my ass. I'm not exactly making friends.
Apparently it's lobster season.
Dr. Amaral.
Don't kicking and screaming.
Hey, Paul.
How long do you need to get here?
That depends. Let me check. Paul. What the actual fuck?
Yeah, Jack is finally realizing. Who is doing these injurious graffitos? We must know. Let me know too if the sound is off in any way. I was messing with it as part of the other issues, and I hope I didn't upset the status quo. We've made it into the building.
Still there?
And this, maybe, is
Yeah,
the
just
thing
looking for a
I've been
viewpoint.
really excited about. I'm not sure if it is. I won't get excited just in case, but this may be a time and a half. Gather round. Excited gasping. It may not be it, but it is. Alright, I'm shutting up. It's time.
So, we don't know where he is. We can't find him. So we need to look into a replacement.
All ponies are made of butter in Night Springs.
You may recognize this video.
Lots of the crazy things happening in Giddu of Nigat Springs.
Thank you.
All ponies are made of butter in Night Springs.
We know the old dance, the fortunate and the destitute. The haves and the have-nots. Those who dine at the table and those who starve in the street. But the tables can be but the tables can be turned. The gluttonous consumer may find himself the consumable resource. Do that again.
Gotta love a reflection-based Sam Lake cameo, too.
And yet, that is the fate that awaits you in Night Fringe.
It's Night
Oh, that guy's got it.
Springs.
Night Cringe.
Springs.
Bright Blings.
Night Spring.
Fright. Whinge.
Jesus.
We know the old dance. The fortunate and the destitute. The haves and the have-nots. Those who dine at the table and those who starve in the street, but the tables can be turned. The gluttonous consumer may find himself the consumable resource in Night Spring.
Oh, this hurts me so deeply every time. So deep in my soul. But it's so wonderful. Oh, goodness. So, that is the only other, I believe, the only other Alan Wake-y reference here in Quantum Break, and is also directly referenced again in Control. The, latest game from Remedy. So that is what, for some reason I was confused in that, Act 2 construction site. I got confused with all of this construction gear, and I thought for sure this TV was there. But it is not. It's in Act 4. Silly me, we finally found it. Couldn't be happier to see a little Night Fringe again.
We still have no visual on Joyce or Wilder. Doing another sweep.
Stop looking at my ass. That goes for you too, in-game camera.
I can't stay here long, Jack. You're gonna need to be quick.
Yeah, about that.
Bad news?
Reoccurring theme of the night.
Oh, it's a whole cave full of
I'm
bears.
looking at the bridge right now. If I go anywhere near that thing, there's gonna be innocent people caught in the crossfire.
All right. Any bright
Thanks for your
ideas?
patience, folks. We'll have you on your way again soon.
Let me see. There's a pier under the bridge. You should be able to meet me there with the boat. Giant gas sign out front.
I didn't
Can't
know
miss
she
it.
was in a boat.
Nice and
For some
bright.
reason I thought she was picking us up in a van, and I was like, how is
There's
that
not a
gonna
lot of
work?
options. Switching to Monarch frequencies.
Just drive under the pier, I'll
I'll
meet
be
you.
there in a few minutes. Don't stand me up.
I wouldn't think of it, Beth. I wouldn't think of it, Courtney Hope.
Okay.
Apparently we
Getting
have a
down there.
radio show to catch up on now, so sorry, Courtney.
Tuning in, the manhunt continues as authorities search for Jack Joyce, the suspect in last night's university terror attack. Joyce may also have been involved in a firefight at the Monarch Mansion on Gull Island approximately 30 minutes ago. On the line,
Aw,
we
that
have
was just
Ken
a
Bukowski,
misunderstanding.
a bridge operator for the Port Donnelly Bridge. Ken, what can you tell us about the situation out there?
Hey, I just want to give a shout out to my little guy. Hey, Ben, hope you're listening.
Isn't it past his bedtime?
He'll be up
Weird, but
reading those
alright.
Hunger Games books
Oh,
if
it's a
I know
kid.
him.
I see.
But, yeah, I'm am just out here in the control booth overlooking the bridge. Monarch's got a roadblock set up, checking all the cars as they go through. It's all very well organized. I got a nice young fellow from Monarch up here, Darren, doing some kind of lookout from above. He's not a coffee
Dream
drinker,
of standing you up,
so there
Beth.
must be
Just
something
hearing
wrong
about
with him.
Darren.
No, but we're in good hands. Even though it's not cops at the roadblock.
Yes, Kent, Monarch is working to assist the police in the hunt for Jack Joyce. I know some people have asked, does Monarch have the authority to do this? Well, my question is, if not Monarch, then who? I think we need to recognize that we are currently in a state of crisis. Why isn't Joyce behind bars? If the police are overwhelmed, then I say we take all the help we can get. Monarch is the only thing keeping this city safe. Am I right,
Publicly
Ken?
supporting
I guess
privatized
that makes
vigilantism?
You
Is that what
bet
I'm
it
hearing?
does. I suggest we stop asking why they're helping us and start helping them. But that's just me. We're opening the lines for your thoughts, Riverport, right after this.
I say, as if that's not a fairly common occurrence at this point in our hideous timeline we've erected for ourselves. So sorry, groping for a break in the narrative there to answer the question in the chat. Is this the new, shiny new hardware? Regrettably, it is not. I was really hoping it would be. For some reason, and maybe one of you out there in your lovely brains knows why, every time I start the stream on my new, it's a Series S, Xbox Series S, it brings up the broadcast recording bar for about 30 seconds. Twitch does not react on my laptop, and then the bar goes away as if nothing happened. And the only other time I've run into that is when I tried to stream BioShock, and apparently that's a naughty no-no. And it just went away instead of giving me any sort of error. But I can't imagine why that would be the case for Quantum Break, which I am even now streaming. So if any of you have suggestions, I would love to be on the new hardware, but I am not just yet. So hopefully our dear old Xbox One will carry us through. And thank you for bearing with my technical difficulties. Or back to the bear cave with it. I see. Alright, headed down. I guess I should be checking for bits and bobs. Confusing light sources and such.
Excuse me, sir.
Bobs, is that you?
Have you seen anything out of the ordinary? Is that the guy who blew up the library? James Joyce? Jack Joyce, yeah. You see anything out of the ordinary? Well, I mean, there's a sports car parked in the streets back there. It's kind of wrecked. It's a little unusual. Please, show me where. Right now.
Damn it. Better hurry.
They're on my trail, eh? Seeing the suggestion there, is it because my account is linked to this current hardware? I could definitely try completely signing out, but it definitely didn't prevent me from logging in on the other one either, so I can explore that for sure. I am open to all suggestions. I will be scurrying around like a hungry mole rat for the rest of the afternoon, likely trying to figure out a solution. Even betwixt bouts of furious editing. Ooh, we've stuttered. Hello, the end of time and life as we know it. Good to see you again. Typically, stuttering is just great news for me, but more and more they are giving me those enemies that can also maneuver in time, or in time freezes. Alright, Jack, watch your ankles. Nice job.
Somebody's sneaking around down there. Hey! I think that's Jack Joyce!
No, it's, not? How do I say this? It's not. Alright, there are those time enemies I was just mentioning. Let's make it a real party for them. Make it a real big surprise. guess that did kill him. Good for me. Anyone else want to get involved? Yes. That's gonna be a yes. Ah, poor reload. He can take a lot of heavy pistol shots. Sturdy boy. I see how it is. It's behind the box. And so should you be. Behind the box. How many pistol shots are you going to take exactly? I'm being flanked. That's never good news. Alright, he's down. Sorry, corpse. I don't mean to be disrespectful. What a wonderful game this is. Regardless of hardware.
As soon as the stutter hit.
Her boat couldn't get to you.
No. But it gave me an opportunity to climb up on the bridge and cross it. Slip right past
why not?
Monarch. More or less
Most of them seem to be carrying this, so hopefully ammo will be plentiful. Sorry about your juice. Ah, what are you two
I should get up on that
doing?
bridge and make my way across it before this stutter ends.
Goodness, how your juices are mingling. I'm deeply uncomfortable with what I've done. The reality I've forced upon these gentlemen. Oh, for a second I thought that was like something like sparks raining down. I see now. My eyes have begun to work. It's leaves, and that's the process of illumination. All coming together. Alright, jumping back to the chat. So sorry. Oh, thank you for doing some digging. I really appreciate that. And looking forward to more Hollow Knight streams. I am on Series S at the moment to clarify the troubleshooting. And thank you. Does Xbox have an option to set a console as primary? I don't know if it does. Can definitely check. I definitely appreciate the suggestions. I can't imagine, like, it's not possible, so it must be a me problem. And I will happily rectify it with much troubleshooting. Alright, kinda feels like they're gonna throw some more guys at me in here, but just hope for the best. We'll just hope for the best. Aha, there will be Hollow Knight streaming at noon Central today. I cannot wait. The excitement, it bubbles within me like... I don't know what. What would be bubbling within you? This is a weird metaphor I've created. Thank you very much for your time there and wisdom. I do appreciate any suggestions. And the digging of them up. Alright, we're climbing and climbing. Still locked in time. My sanctuary.
The scene on the bridge was unreal. They weren't cops.
You could say that.
They had no authority to do this. But the Monarch PR machine had done its job. Here they were, the heroes protecting everybody.
And you were the terrorist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's how it works.
Even worse than my passport picture.
Even worse than my passport photo. What could be worse than my passport photo? Checking your emails. Some field orders from Martin Hatch. All field operatives be advised that Martin Hatch is now considered a compromised asset. Must have been something we missed during the TV show. We already know from some of the emails we've been reading that he is working against Paul and actively trying to take him down for completely unknown, possibly nefarious reasons. However, we did not directly see that yet in the cutscene, so it must be part of the live-action bit of this, which I, again, highly suggest that you check out. Okay, it is looking like signing out completely on one system and in on the new one could be a solution. I can definitely try that. Let me keep this session running just a little bit longer, and then maybe we'll switch. I would love to get it up and running. So sorry. Sorry, Martin. All orders and instructions from Martin Hatch, new or existing, have been rendered invalid and have been countermanded. Please contact your supervisor for further information as required. Hatch is responsible for the destruction of vital medical supplies involved in the deaths of numerous Monarch personnel and may be collaborating with Jack Joyce. I think that was part of the TV show, if I'm remembering correctly, that he actually, took the vials of the medicine that is keeping Paul alive, and he, broke the last couple of them or something. It's the destruction of vital medical supplies. The investigation is ongoing, but Martin Hatch is to be detained with maximum force. Well, if he's available, if encountered. If he cannot be captured, he should be considered a priority target who should, under no circumstances, be allowed to escape. Take no chances. He is considered to be extremely dangerous and possibly has the native ability to jump dimensions. We're not really sure. We'll have to inspect him further. Didn't mean to sound so excited. It's just so slender. Have you seen these two? Charlie Wincott and Fiona Miller, sought in connection with recent terror events. Do not approach, they smell. Please contact Monarch Solutions with any information. Ah, you have a link. Can you share? A Twitch link, like a troubleshooting thing? Absolutely, yeah. Or any Twitch link, I'm sure, is safe. As long as it's not one. Hilarious. Do pardon. I literally tripped over my headset cord. Goodness. I was in the process of saying, as long as you haven't stumbled on one of my old archived hot tub streams, then please do feel free. Must be... yeah, there it is. Upgrade points for me.
Honestly, I can't see him sharp.
I do apologize if that was deafening, my goodness. What a clumsy oaf. Both in-game and out. Oh, don't give me extra ammo. I know what that means. Oh, it's another one of these guys. It's gonna be one of those real back-to-back we faced each other situations. Ah! And there's others. That's bad news. Get that reload done, please. Alright. Who else? Who else has a vulnerable back for me? This small SUV really coming in handy. I have to pick one of these up for some weekend joyrides. He says as if he's ever had the funds for a vehicle. Grenades! just can't get the right angle on it. There we go. You enjoy yourself.
Okay, good. It's cool.
I think he's down.
Just gotta make it across the bridge.
Yes. Sorry for the extra. Oh, let's call them what they were. Rump shots there. I do apologize. Unnecessary rump shots. I want to keep the light. Yes, light machine. However, I only have 19 shots for it, so... Where am I going now? Up the ladder. Alright. Oh, here may be some shots for it. Hello, hello all. Welcome, welcome. Wait, where are the archived hot tub streams? Ha! You'll never find them. I've used the most misleading alias you could possibly imagine. Translated multiple times by an artificial intelligence to be extra obscure. My hot tub streams are safe. Yes, it's Atticus Jackson. That is my secret sexy alias. I'm sorry you had to find out this way. That is the truth of it. Hey guys. It's sexy time. Is that what Atticus sounds like? I'm pretty sure. Hi, I'm Atticus. Just enjoying my time being a voice actor here. You might know me from famous stories like Mr. Strings. I'm pretty sure I've nailed it. That doesn't look good for my inner thighs. I'll be sore tomorrow.
Oh no. This is so bad.
I really hope time doesn't start moving again.
That
That would be like if I could request a quick birthday wish.
The deck of the cargo ship was my best bet. Just had to find a way down.
Alright, how do I do that one thing, you know? Where I throw a thing and then things happen because I've thrown that thing? Stop? Is that it? Must be stop. However, I will want it stopped in the correct position. Looks like it does it for me. I'll wait. So. Once again, so many weeks. I'll get those controls back in my fingers. Oh, this is just a bad day. Oh.
You know what?
Okay. I guess I gotta get through there.
Frozen crash was a mess. Somehow I had to find my way across. Hope for the best.
I haven't been searching for upgrade points. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, upgrade points. This is so cool. As much as it is completely terrifying. Where do you want me? I'm happy to squeeze in anywhere. You just tell me where you want me. Aha. Bit of a reversal. And a rush. That corner was headed for my skull.
Towards the cargo ship.
With some celerity. Yikes. we gotta get back in time.
The route down wasn't exactly user-friendly.
Little development comment there that they slipped in.
The fracture was
The
getting
path
much
down
worse.
is not very user.
Timeline's getting scrambled.
Yeah, we know.
Caught in violent loops, off sync.
That's what this level's all about.
Crashing into each other. This was what the end of time would look like. Everything was broken, in chaos, frozen, and no one would know.
All right. Slip, sliding, and stuttering. This is the worst place to have been.
Fracture was escalating. Objects were moving out of time, out of order. Entire timelines overlapping.
Through my legs and thigh
And it was
meat,
gonna get
yes,
worse.
I've seen them.
Unless we could stop it.
Part 2. Back to the swimming pool. That always helps me de-stress.
You need to hand this technology over to Monarch. I've prepared for what happens next.
You say you're prepared, but no part of this plan of yours involves stopping it from happening.
Even if I fix William's machine, what could you possibly hope to achieve? The end of time is coming. There's no way to—
Hey! This isn't a debate. I just watched a ship fast forward through a fucking bridge. Time is running out, and the fracture's getting worse by the minute.
And it cannot be stopped. Paul has been to the end of time. He's
Jack
witnessed
with
it
his
firsthand.
take control
Can't you
energy
see?
up in here.
We prepared for what's next out of necessity.
I mean, he is technically
The
shouting
research
at
is
a woman,
based
but
on work by William Joyce.
it's fine.
You respected him. He knew that the fracture would occur, but he also knew that it could be fixed. Will built a way to stop the fracture. This. The countermeasure. We're traveling to the past to retrieve it.
Now that's a
Will can
plan.
help us get there faster.
Because the current one is
Or
in Monarch custody, and it's
you
too
can
dangerous to get it
this
from
way.
them. Just grab it from the past.
I'll have to run diagnostics on the machine. I can't promise anything before that.
Amy, take Emerald to the machine. Keep an eye on her.
When you
Sure
happen to have a time machine in an old swimming pool your brother
Okay,
owns,
Doctor, let's
mysteriously, why not use it?
And I can see right through you. Don't try anything stupid. You will regret it.
She's come a long way in 2 parts. 2 acts.
Jack.
Oh, she was always in a leadership position. All right, I'm here for you, Beth.
Okay, what's up?
It's about the plan. If Emerald gets the machine working...
We go back to yesterday and undo all of this.
Listen. In the video Will left for me, he said the countermeasure was stolen from his workshop on July 4th, 2010. He also said I took it. Maybe I did, Jack. We have a time machine.
You're saying we go to 2010. We steal it.
If Will was right, that would mean it wouldn't be a change. We take the countermeasure, bring it to the present, fix the fracture, save the world.
Okay. Explain to me why that's a better plan than just going back to yesterday and preventing all this from happening in the first place.
Because I'm afraid that based on what I know about time travel, we can't change anything. The past has already happened. We can't change it. But my way, we don't have to.
Yeah,
We just have to hope we didn't spot ourselves the first time through.
let's just get the machine working.
And it'll all work out. Right, Beth's 2010 plan. Beth's charts and plans for the plan. To travel to 2010 and steal the charts. And plan the plan for planning the countermeasure. All right. It looks like you just wrote plan a bunch of times on some post-it notes here, Beth. I mean, I still support you 100%, but I just assume you're keeping it all in your head for now. That's wise. Don't want anyone to pick up the details before it's time. Smart thinking, Beth.
Hatch.
What
This
we
is the guy that
know
visited me in the cell.
about our potential Mr. Door.
Sounds like Serene's onto him. According to Monarch Communications, Hatch sabotaged a Monarch lab.
He may be undermining Paul, but I get the impression he's not on our side.
I get the impression he's not human? I don't know how to say this. There were no records before 2001. Who was he? What was he? Where did he come from? Is he working against Monarch? He has possible links to the following. The death of Dr. Kim is unconfirmed. He was alone with Dr. Kim at time of death. Death occurred just as Kim was on the verge of a solution to Serene's time sickness. He was also involved in the university time machine being sabotaged, though this is unconfirmed. Were the miscalculations on purpose? Hatch was seen in the lab. Assistance in Sophia's kidnapping confirmed. Distracted Monarch while kidnapping occurred. Knew we were coming. Did not alert Serene. And destruction of Serene's remaining sickness treatments unconfirmed. Was present outside Dr. Kim's lab when lab was destroyed. Accused Sophia of being responsible for this. Helped Charlie Wincott escape, confirmed. Currently helping Charlie reach Monarch Tower undetected. Disobeyed direct orders from Paul Serene. Wants access to CFR, which I believe is the countermeasure. Potentially desires to sabotage lifeboat protocol. Sabotaging Serene. Motive. Secretly assuring Serene's downfall. Wants to take over Monarch? Why? Sabotaging Monarch's survival plan from within. No possible reason for this. Doesn't believe countermeasure could stop fracture. Not a potential ally. Works for Monarch, therefore believes end of time is inevitable. Then why attempt to sabotage lifeboat protocol? Yes, I can certainly relate to this sentiment in the chat. I do not want to go back to 2010. It's difficult, certainly, as some of the last few years have been, going back to the person that I was in 2010 would hurt me more than most things. Goodbye, past me. See you never. Except in my haunting nightmares.
Hello, Riverport. Well, it's been a rough night for us. The collision at the Port Donnelly
Always
Bridge
feels like listening to an old friend.
is still being investigated. At least a dozen people are confirmed dead, and investigators say they expect to find more bodies, some of which are predicted to be found in the cars at the bottom of the river. The cause of the accident remains unclear. Adding to the confusion are conflicting reports from shipboard personnel and those on dry land. The captain of the cargo ship insists that the bridge was up and the route was clear. However, some people shoreside claim the cargo ship was approaching the bridge at high speed, despite the bridge having not yet been raised. Others express surprise at the ship's presence, claiming that they do not see its approach at all. The investigation is still ongoing.
All things can be true, depending on your perception of time.
This disaster will affect us in more ways than one. With the Port Donnelly Bridge out of commission, heavy congestion is expected on the other routes across the river, and we now have reports coming in of multiple car crashes all over Riverport. So you will want to reserve enough time for your trip today if you're traveling by car. Stay safe out there. Hopefully we can all get back to normal soon.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be a treat?
See how Dr. Amaril's doing with the time machine.
Normal. What does that mean? Oh, hey, Beth.
I don't think I can trust her. The way she looks
Cut you off there.
She's seen it before. She knows what it does.
You think
She's still wearing her vest. She's the only other one without time powers to be able to keep operating, I believe.
I can relate.
Will takes it to the next level. When we were kids, the only way that Will could express anything important to me was by informing my stuffed giraffe when I was in the room.
It's precious.
Well, that does make it easier.
And weird.
A layer of disconnect. Hello, stuffed giraffe. How are you today?
Did she find anything?
I haven't spoken to her yet.
I'll go check.
I'll go ask.
How's it look?
Don't make me yell at you again.
The problem is quite simple, really.
Hello, welcome.
The power relay is down. You'll need to find a way to reset it up. There, where the light is.
There, I see.
I'll lower the ladder for you.
Oh, thank you.
What happened to the power relay?
those smart ladders.
Power surge
It's
occurred
handy.
at 7 a.m. this morning, and the machine was activated. 7 a.m.
But first, a little time under the bleachers.
Well, the numbers don't lie.
Okay.
I guess you can't really get under here. Never mind. I thought it'd be easier to squeeze through like a snake, but he's very muscular, I guess. Can't contract his skull.
Okay. The console here's got 2 red lights, 1 green one.
You'll have to reset the power to the 2 stations
Shall I shoot it?
with red lights before activating the relay. Both stations are located above the machine. Just follow the cables to the red lights.
Above
Okay.
the machine. The perfect place for a reset switch, Will.
I'll do my best. We're following the cables. Oh, what a time we'll have.
Okay, the first red light is now green.
One more to go. I'm not sure
I
if
guess
you
we're
can reach
getting
the
over
second one
there.
right away. You may have to climb down and reach the other side of the machine.
So I guess we gotta jump over there, maybe up through there. There's a door. No way there. So maybe the door, or we'll find a way around. Find a safe place to jump down. Gotta be careful of those ankles. I mean, he's pushing, from the look of it, 45? I don't know how Hollywood works exactly. Sean, how old are you? Are you in here? Maybe another, time vision. A vision of my brother long dead.
Jack. Hi. It's Will. I guess you're in Thailand by now. I'm not sure if you even still use this number.
Don't really want to pull the
I
gun
don't
out
like
every
how we
time,
left
but
things.
I do want to see.
I've been under a lot of pressure. There's some things I should tell you.
Yeah.
I'd like to make it right.
There's a couple
Just
of things you should have told me, William.
Call me, okay? Please.
Alright, any other collectibles we need? I guess it's not that way. We must have to go around. That looks like the way.
Jack,
Collectibles?
you've got to see this.
I can smell you.
Hey.
Sorry, not you, Amy.
Shouldn't
I
you
was
be keeping an
speaking
eye
to the
on Admiral?
collectibles.
Okay, but first, you need to check out the intel I uncovered. I'm serious, Jack. This is big stuff I've got here.
I'm right here.
All right.
You can
What is all
continue anytime.
I uploaded all the files I stole on that USB stick from the Monarch security station. I also found a video of your brother. It's on that TV.
Is it?
You're gonna want to see
Is he
it.
clothed?
Everything else I printed out and
I
put on
can't
tables
see
over
any
there.
more of his private videos. Okay. Show me his private videos. Hey, Dom. Love your eyeball.
The date is... It's February 28th,
Jesus, Will.
1999. William Joyce.
1999.
After months
First experiment.
of arduous work,
Thank you for that,
the
Beth.
machine is finally
Now
ready.
hide behind my ear.
Ready.
That's the way.
Ready is obviously a relative term when you're dealing with the deformation of the chronon field and recreating of black holes' mass density by tangent. Okay, in short summary, I built a time machine. And it
Yeah, you
works.
did.
I'm gonna prove it or die.
There's two options.
Make some final preparations.
More variety.
When I enter the machine, I will travel clockwise around the corridor. Okay. Core is active. Chronon levels are stable. I'll travel clockwise clockwise around the corridor, exiting back into the same location in the near future. Oh. This clock is set to my watch. Now, when I exit,
That's how you prove time travel.
there should be a significant difference in time between
Because
my
watches, you see, cannot be changed on the fly or walking around a corridor.
Okay, setting the date to 5 minutes to the future for the first test. Now, admittedly, traveling to the past would be much more impressive. But I can travel backwards in time only as far as the first activation of the machine's core, which is, well, now. Okay, machine's ready.
I love this whole scheme, this whole theory. This is a great time travel bit of media. A bit of time travel media, rather. You should speak with the doctor about those chest pains. Is there a doctor in the house? You should also not stand that close to the TV, Jack. Bad example for the kids, but it's fine.
Serena's
Right, what
original
has Amy
manifesto
found?
for Monarch.
A 3-phase
They had
plan.
us practically memorize this.
Hundreds of employees. They actually believe all this bullshit?
More than you can imagine.
So from 1999 to 2010, Monarch would build an empire. From 2010 to 2016, they would prepare for the future, and Phase 3, the Lifeboat Protocol, begins in October 2016 and runs to the end of time. Yes. However that works. Mission statement in 1999, limited distribution for approved employees only. Not that arty guy. I have seen the path ahead, and I know it will be hard. I have founded Monarch Solutions to bring together those who will walk it with me. The elite few whose skill, dedication, and passion will live on when everything else ends. And to that end, we will work under my guiding vision of the future, my knowledge of what is coming, me, mine. We accept that we cannot change our fate, nor can we avoid it. It is a harsh truth, but it is the truth. We will accept it and its full implications, but we will not deviate from our course, nor give in to despair, nor give up the fight. Those of us who share in this knowledge, who learn the triumphs and tragedies of the days and years to come, will look past them and find ways to turn them to our advantage. The gray, uncertain area beyond what is known will be where we build our empire, and we build it on the hope that we can persevere, that the end isn't our end, that we can still succeed. We will expand Monarch's influence and power in all possible spheres, financial, political, cultural, medical, technological, military, to the best of our ability. This is a goal unto itself. We will need to be in a position of exceptional resources and ability to act when the time comes. We will build, we will seek success and profit, not for the sake of wealth and fame, but for the sake of preparedness. We will develop science and technology to counter a very specific set of circumstances. This will require extensive research and experimentation, as well as a tremendous financial cost. We will not be daunted by these challenges. No, we will just call up our good friend Tom Cruise and complete our work. We will not compromise. We recognize that sacrifice is required, and we are willing to pay the cost to meet our goals. There is no alternative to this. Doubt, qualms, and sentiment are luxuries we cannot afford. Whatever we have to do is a lesser evil than the extinction of the entire human race, and to pretend otherwise is weakness. That's a very precarious philosophy and worldview to put yourself in, that any action you could possibly take is a lesser evil than the extinction of the entire human race. Come on. So have that last Danish. You could excuse anything, really. Nothing we have accomplished as a species matters if we fail in our mission. I skipped a line. Nothing in the history of our planet has been as important as this. Number 5, we will not fail. There will be many challenges in the years ahead. I know what's coming. It can't be averted. There is no escaping it. But we can survive it, and we can overcome it, and we will. I am dedicating myself, this company, and every shred of willpower at my disposal. Willpower? I'm sorry. To that mission. I expect the same from those who join me on it. Paul Serene. That was very eloquent and lovely.
The lifeboat.
Yeah. Well, according to Monarch Communications, Paul Serene just activated that thing.
Far sooner than they were supposed to.
What does
This
that
is
mean?
awesome.
Means we have less time than I hoped.
I suppose we should read all of it. There's a very cool bit at the end there about how they're storing food. Once the end of time happens, spoilage stops becoming an issue. They can store their food in the stuttered or frozen part of the lifeboat, and it never goes bad, which is just a hilarious side effect of time travel, or whatever this is. Let's read. While the lifeboat protocol is fairly straightforward on the surface, it's important that the people involved with the project understand how it radically differs from other survival scenarios against so-called apocalyptic threats. Stutter-proofing. A traditional bunker built to protect the occupants from an environmental hazard like a chemical attack or nuclear fallout is typically sealed airtight, and the occupants have their own electricity, air supply, provisions, etc. The bunker's interior is isolated from the outside environment, but the lifeboat's design is different. It's not actually sealed, because it doesn't have to be. It does have strong walls and protected access points, but the outside environment is not the problem. It's the lack of Meyer-Joyce field that enables time to exist that makes the outside hazardous. From a technological standpoint, these differences make the lifeboat's operating principles quite different, particularly with regards to maintenance. Compared to, say, the failure of the life support system in a hermetically sealed survival space, such as a bunker, the failure of the lifeboat's stutter-proofing system has far more immediate and grave effects. A traditional life support system can be repaired. For instance, a failure in the CO2 scrubbers would pose a significant threat, but with replacement parts and tools, properly trained occupants could easily repair the system before they would feel any ill effects. In fact, almost any mechanical failure, short of a full-scale environmental breach, can be fixed as long as suitable repair materials and trained personnel are at hand. But, by its very nature, the stutter-proofing is different. If it fails, everybody within its area of effect is immediately affected by the zero state and becomes frozen. In a permanent zero state scenario, that means they would have no opportunity to ever effect repairs. There is literally no time to react. The only exception would be personnel wearing an activated chronon harness, such as the Striker suit, but given that repairing the stutter-proofing system is a highly technical, complicated process requiring an exceptional proficiency in the operation, my tongue is getting away from me, and engineering of chronon technology, this would be a scenario with a low probability of success. It is therefore of utmost importance that the lifeboat's stutter-proofing operates reliably and without faults, with multiple fail-safe systems, because if it ever fails, it's unlikely that it can be repaired or restarted. Accordingly, once the lifeboat protocol has been activated, there is no real way to deactivate it, other than removing the chronon field regulator. So it's interesting that that's the key to their lifeboat protocol too. I wasn't sure if they were just holding it, because they thought William's plan wouldn't work. It's not that. They in fact need the countermeasure William built to run the lifeboat itself. And so William is saying, no, you guys are idiots, I can stop this with that device. And they're just saying, no, we're going to protect ourselves, and then we'll figure out a way to save everybody else. Is the sort of debate that's raging here. Alright, this would be highly inadvisable, removing the chronon field regulator, as doing so could not only disrupt the stutter-proofing, but more importantly, without the CFR, the lifeboat's rate of chronon particle consumption is increased by a vast margin, effectively reducing its potential operating time to a fraction of what is intended. unique advantages and risks. However, it's worth pointing out that even though the lifeboat operation has unique hazards, there are also unique advantages. One such advantage is provisions. A traditional survival scenario in a bunker typically involves a poor quality of meals due to obvious resourcing problems. Anything that spoils easily is out of the question. In a zero-state scenario, however, spoilage becomes a non-issue. Anything stored outside the stutter-proofed area remains in perfect condition. This advantage doesn't only apply to comestibles, but also makes the storage of medicine, volatile chemicals, and other similar articles far less of a problem than it otherwise would be. In fact, given the fact that the city of Riverport is vast compared to the relatively small number of people residing in the lifeboat, in theory Monarch operatives could venture outside the lifeboat in Chronon harnesses and actually enjoy freshly cooked meals, simply by entering a restaurant and finding the ready-made dishes that have been prepared. Remove them from the zero state to a stutter-proofed area and enjoy them, as hot and delicious as if they had just been prepared, which, in fact, they, of course, would be. To be clear, this is not a recommended activity, as it would be a foolish waste of resources to go after individual meals like that. The above scenario is mentioned here merely to illustrate the point. Even though the lifeboat has been designed to operate for decades of subjective time, it doesn't actually need provisions for that long. If the lifeboat's own reserves start to run low, a well-planned supply run into the city could easily result in a great deal of perfectly preserved supplies. Another advantage is that while the situation outside the lifeboat would be dire, people frozen in the zero state would not actually be dead. If a solution is found to the end-of-time scenario, everybody would resume their everyday lives, sans their restaurant meals, most likely with no awareness of time ever having stopped. However, it's hard to know what the exact psychological impact of that knowledge on lifeboat personnel will be. There is a real concern that the pressure of knowing that they have sole responsibility for the survival of the human race, and that there are billions of people outside the walls of the lifeboat, helpless and unaware, frozen eternally in that last moment, may prove to be crushing for some. On the other hand, knowing that their loved ones are actually not dead and may be saved, and are not in any are not in any distress, or indeed even aware of the situation, may prove to be a powerful motivating factor that helps us eventually resolve the situation. Of course, the solution to the problem of a permanent zero state is not currently within our reach, and we expect that finding one will take subjective decades, if it is indeed possible. We can but try. Almost there. Long explanation. It's worth noting that since the people outside the lifeboat are indeed not dead and merely stopped, it should be possible for a team of personnel wearing Chronon harnesses to exit the lifeboat, retrieve a person, and bring them into the lifeboat. However, I advise against adopting this practice. For the occupants, that should forever remain in a theoretical... I just can't stop adding words. That should forever remain a theoretical scenario. Any situation in which somebody is brought in from the outside would cause undue stress on the occupants, who would at that point have to become acutely aware that their loved ones could be brought in, you see. But since the lifeboat has limited space, this could never be allowed. That kind of psychological pressure would likely lead to friction, and questions of favoritism, and ultimately increase the risk of mission failure. I'm seeing that suggestion in the chat. If you could do both, if you could have both a reversion, countermeasure device to stop it from happening, and the lifeboat as a failsafe in case that didn't work, that would be lovely. I don't believe we have two countermeasure devices.
Anybody here
I wish.
Trust?
Fiona. She's my only remaining contact on the inside.
Confirmed,
What about
ally.
this Burke guy? He was under arrest in the same transport as me.
Jury's still out on Burke.
Burke is still a question mark. He definitely has reason enough to help us now. that he knows a little bit more about what's happening, and that he knows that Monarch is not going to allow his wife into the lifeboat, even though she is pregnant. I don't know if they were even going to allow him in at that point. Controlling the Riverport situation from Clarice Ogawa to field team leads. I know the situation is fluid and things are progressing fast, but I want to reiterate our strategy for maintaining control over the city of Riverport. As you all know, we can't actually directly control the city. We don't have the manpower, and we don't have the actual authority. It's therefore vital that we maintain a good relationship with the media and the local authorities, and have them do much of the heavy lifting for us. Ideally, everything we do should be either undertaken by the authorities under our discreet direction, or in cases where we take action ourselves, backed by the powers that be, creating the illusion that Monarch Solutions is working in cooperation with legal authorities. Make no mistake, although we've been successful thus far, the situation is not stable, and it can change quickly. If key parties in the city lose confidence in us and our ability to handle the crisis, our control will erode very quickly. I'd hate for the control to erode. Therefore, we must nurture this relationship even as we conduct our own operations, some of which involve considerable troop mobilization and combat action. This is a constant balancing act. And while I'm confident we can pull it off, there's no room for error. We can't afford to grow complacent and sloppy, and we definitely can't afford to grow slippery. Fortunately, we are well prepared for this contingency. Long before we reached this point, we established a good rapport with the mayor, Riverport PD, and other major authorities within Riverport, as well as most of the important media outlets. Our strategy is twofold. 1. Maintain control. 2. Minimize conflict. Skip through those for now. For all these activities, we have a considerable budget. Monarch Solutions is very well off. We've been building resources for a long time, and this is considered a priority. So we can buy a lot of silence and cooperation from authorities and citizens alike. But that only works as long as those things are for sale, and the moment we are seen as a threat, that opportunity will disappear. If you see a problem, be proactive and call it in. Don't let anything run out of control or think that it'll work itself out. We have to be sure. The situation can unravel faster than we think, and we have to coordinate our activities properly. Any questions or concerns, please contact me. 8 out of 12. All right.
Was that?
We'll have a couple of narrative objects lying around. Thank you for bearing with me there.
How's that possible? It wasn't even the same time machine he entered at the university.
That's one question I still don't have an answer for.
So is she saying that yesterday, I think it was yesterday, when I was at the university and Paul went through the corridor, he came out here at the pool? Is that what she just said? I forget how that works. I thought it had to be the same physical time machine, and I thought he had that one at Monarch, but I must be forgetting.
Communications with the radio that Beth left me. I made a compilation of anything that seemed like it might be useful.
We'll figure it out. Transcript of Monarch communications. Unknown Monarch personnel. HQ, come in. This is First Aid 1. I think the unknown Monarch personnel might be First Aid 1 there. We've got a situation here at the hospital. Over. Go ahead, First Aid 1. Over. Oh, it's a fucking mess down here, HQ. Burke showed up for his wife, like we thought. Gibson intercepted him. Mel? Burke wouldn't come quietly, so Mel Gibson drew on him, and well, Mel Gibson's dead now. Burke strangled him with a power cord in full sight of half the hospital, so it was that kind of shit show. Over. I like that report. Do you have the situation contained? Where is Burke now? Over. We're working the scene and wiped the footage, but Mel Gibson didn't have any backup, so who knows how many people saw the fight or where they are now. Same goes for Burke. He's in the wind, and so's his wife. Over. Copy that, First Aid 1. We'll run with that on our end. We'll run with that on our end? Ah. Just tidy things up over there. Over and out. Nice that we have access to so many Monarch communications. Thanks, Beth. Thanks, Amy. You guys are doing great work. Okay, I don't know if Amy wanted to show me something else. Let me see what these are real quick. I guess they're both in the back room. Fair enough.
What's on the computer?
Monarch files I uploaded, and I kept the juiciest stuff on screen for you.
Oh, well, thank you. This should be juicy, then. I am attaching Paul Serene's most recent entry in his dream journal. I am growing increasingly concerned with the meaning behind these dreams, but I need a second opinion. I can treat Paul's sickness. Really, as far as I can determine, the Chronon Syndrome is more of a metaphysical condition than an actual medical issue, but I'm a physicist. I'm very much out of my depth with all of this. This exercise was meant to help alleviate stress, to ease Paul's symptoms, but so far it has resulted in the opposite. Time is of the essence. His condition is getting worse by the day. Alright, so here is Paul Serene's 5th entry in his dream journal. My 5th entry. I recall moving through a wheat field that once belonged to my grandparents. I pressed the wheat stalks to the side with my hands, softly sifting through them at first, but as I pressed forward, the stalks began to warp and curl around my arms, providing resistance to my every move. The entire field began to solidify into an unbreakable material, with my body entangled in the mess. I desperately tried to pull myself free, but every movement led to a burning sensation. The world desaturated. Time stopped. I heard the unmistakable sound of my greatest fear approaching. Shifters. They emerged from all sides, surrounding me. I looked into the distance and saw a blurry figure approaching. I think he's just playing Alan Wake and fell asleep. You're fine, Paul. Wake up. He tried to yell, but the words wouldn't escape his throat. Instead, transforming into an endless shriek, which, speaking of endless shrieks, I'm about to sneeze. It was a 2-for-1 sale, if you were curious. All right. Instead, transforming into an endless shriek pulsing through my ears. His every movement and sound transformed into an agonizing discomfort all throughout my body, until it became completely unbearable. The pain trumped logic. I needed to make it stop. I needed to make it all stop. I grew violent, blindly lashing out at the figure, tearing him apart. I needed to destroy the source of motion and sound that caused me such discomfort. The pain stopped as I took the figure's life, and as he died, his identity became clear. It was me. I had become the very threat that I once feared, but I did not fear anymore. I felt something very clear, very pure. I turned around to discover Jack behind me. I didn't move, but I could somehow understand his intent. He welcomed me. Every misunderstanding, all of the pain we had caused one another was forgotten. We were part of a higher consciousness. I heard a voice behind me, Dr. Kim. He joined us. He told me that time was once the fire in which we burned. He told me we would burn no more. That's interesting.
Is the city still hunting for me?
In full force. There's an entire webpage dedicated to potential Jack Joyce sightings, so I've been filling it in with false leads for fun. Do you want to pitch in?
Oh, hell yeah.
Post that I was spotted in the back of a catering van somewhere.
You can do better than that. But okay, I'll let them know.
Okay, I was spotted tap dancing on top of a pile of nude corpses. Do you think that'll grab their attention? I know how the press works. It's all nude corpses, and then, bam, you've got yourself a story. At least that's what Christian Bale taught me in my youth. I think we're finally ready to go to the toilets. Thank you for holding it. It was a lot of narrative material to get through there, but I've enjoyed it greatly. Anything else I'm missing? Narrative material, where are you? You rat bastard. Hiding again, I see. Alright, narrative material, have it your way. Hello, hello, welcome. So nice to see you all there. Quantum's been broken, yes. Oh, there's the giraffe. William kept it all these years.
You've got to be
to
kidding
talk
me.
to instead of me, as he
What is
ignored me for several decades.
This is all my stuff from our family home. He kept everything.
Even the embarrassing photos, Beth. Get out of here. Beth, leave.
Guess he thought you might come back. Is that?
Joffrey, yes.
Will's personal psychiatrist. Want to give it a try?
I think that giraffe's holding enough baggage.
This is absolutely going to become an altered item in the bureau one day from all of William Joyce's baggage.
Jack? You okay?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I just hate thinking about my own life. Really do.
My artsy rebel phase.
Complete with a very rebellious how-to guide.
What is it?
Always wanted to try this, actually. Never had the time.
Oh, is it like a graffiti art book? And did Jack say, like, that he used to do graffiti? Is he the one who's been making all of these?
What's wrong?
Toto. That's my signature.
You made this?
I've never even been here before.
Beth is the artist.
That woman in the picture is you, isn't it? So,
Jack. There's something you should know. 1999. I was 8 years old, playing in my backyard, and a woman approached me, told me she was from the future. She gave me very specific details of events that would come to pass. She gave me this. Filled with dates, events, proof of it all. Jack, that woman,
it was you.
everything I told myself would happen, did. Every detail, for better or worse, came to pass, and couldn't be changed. Our fate is laid out before us, Jack. Everything that happened to get us here, every sacrifice that was made, they're all a part of this path.
I love how tightly
Can't be
wound into it
changed,
Beth
undone.
ends up being after you
When we
kind of
step
think
in that
she's just
time
a
machine, you will see for yourself.
working for Monarch at the beginning. We're not even allies. But she's like so integral to the plot.
All right. If you're that sure about how all this works,
Can I peek in
we
your
can try
stuff?
your way.
I don't mean to violate your privacy. I would love more info. How to gain consent for this search. Guess it must just be in the other room. I'll stop trying.
It's her. She's the one who's been painting all over the city.
So how long has Beth had here? Like, when did she have time to do all this? What happens to Beth that sends her to her younger self? I guess we're not there yet. I'm fascinated.
Notebook was full of
I'm
dates,
peeking. I'm sorry, Beth.
events that would come to pass, instructions. Her entire existence was formed out of those pages.
Okay, let's catch up. Beth, I know that this encounter will be a lot to take in. After all, it's not every day you meet your future self. I tell you that you need to keep this all a secret, but I know that you won't listen, and you'll learn that lesson the hard way. 1 second. The next few years won't be easy for you. Nobody you know is ever going to understand what you are going through. Those closest to you will try to change you, convince you that you are losing your mind. You're not. You are special. You have been chosen to do something amazing. Know that your struggles will all be worth it in the end because you have a purpose. You're going to save the world. How do I know? Well, I've been through all of this before, and I'm going to prove it. Below you will find a list of events that will come to pass in the future. They cannot be changed or undone. It will take time for you to accept this, but eventually you will learn to use this knowledge to your advantage. You will be prepared for what is coming. October 3rd, 2000. Derek Stevenson has been bullying you for months. On October 3rd, you will push him down the staircase at school. You'll do everything in your power to resist this, partly to avoid the consequences, partly to prove this book wrong. But the terrible things he will say in that moment will be too much for you to handle. He'll pretend to cry and claim that you gave him a concussion, and you will take all the blame. You will be transferred to another school, and you'll hope that things will get better, and they won't. It's going to be a difficult year, and whenever you feel helpless, just remember this book. You are special. You have a purpose that they don't. Hold on to that. And if it makes you feel better, 16 years from now, Derek will be working at a dollar store, and he still lives with his mom. December 3rd, 2000. I can certainly relate. Working at a dollar store, still living with your mom is... It's like 40% of working adults. December 3rd, 2000. Mr. Hartsook from next door will pass away. February 3rd, 2001. The kids at school will steal your jacket. Your parents will claim that you're hiding it on purpose so that they will buy you a new one. Look in the bin on the corner of 3rd and Main. You will find something that will get you through the winter. You'll be teased for wearing it by Michelle. You'll fight back, but it will only make things worse. And eventually, when you are able to contain your anger, take her aside and say the following to her. I'm sorry about your mom. Then give her a hug. She will push you away. She will look incredibly confused and vulnerable, and she will never tease you again. April 24th, 2001. Erica, your best friend, will break her arm. Having read this, you will do everything in your power to prevent it. The actions that you take to avoid this from happening will only make it so, and this is the first time that you will truly witness that your fate is already determined and cannot be changed. Erica will blame you for the incident. Try not to take this to heart. You will soon discover that she isn't the friend you thought that she was. Stay strong. You will find people who respect you for who you are very soon. Oh, thank you very much for the subscription there. That is very generous. Welcome aboard again for 11 months. Goodness. Thank you very much. August 5th, 2001. You will take the night bus home. There will be only one other passenger on board, a scruffy-looking kid with a black eye. His name is Jack Joyce. Remember his face. He's going to become important. September 11th, 2001. The way that this is written is very touching for me personally. I've always kind of wished more than anything that I could send this kind of thing to myself. So I'm sorry to be a little emotional. September 11th, 2001. This is the one that will change you. Oh, we're getting there. Getting past the waves. An event will occur that will devastate the entire nation. An act of terrorism that will cause the World Trade Centers to collapse. Thousands will die. I won't go into further detail because the more that you know, the more painful it will become when you are unable to prevent it. And you will try to prevent it. And you will fail. And you will curse this book for not telling you more. And you will curse yourself for not being able to stop it. And it will take a long, long time to get over this. But eventually you will use this pain to fuel your path forward. You have now felt what it is to be completely unprepared for what is coming. And it won't happen again. Next time, you will be ready. This is the event that will finally make you believe, and any doubt you had will disappear, and you're ready to take on this mission. So what is coming? October 8th, 2016. An experiment gone wrong will cause time to break down. 1 second. Gotta get that nose in play. This event will be referred to as a fracture in time. The onset of this event cannot be prevented, but the outcome must be. If the fracture is not stopped, then time itself will come to an end. Life on our planet will end. Saving the world wasn't an overstatement. It is your mission. You must stop the fracture. You can pull this off, but to do so you need to follow some simple instructions. Learn who to trust. And the short answer is nobody. The less people know about you, the safer you will be. From this point forward, your mission takes priority over every other aspect of your life. Do not start a relationship of any kind that you aren't willing to leave behind at a moment's notice. There is no exception to this rule. We'll get to that. Know your enemy. Monarch Solutions. They will try to prevent you from achieving your goal. Learn everything you can about them. You will know the best way to achieve this when the time is right. Monarch is run by a man named Paul Serene. You must never be seen by Paul Serene. If he discovers you, then you will risk failing your mission. Learn everything you can about him. Remain hidden, but keep in mind that the best place to hide is often in plain sight. Blend in. Change your appearance frequently. Hair color, clothing, style, everything. Be cautious about drawing attention to yourself. Learn to blend in. Examine those around you, the way they move, speak, and laugh. Copy them. Become your surroundings. Train daily. There are a series of skills you will need to master to be truly prepared. Hand-to-hand combat, Filipino Kali and Jeet Kune Do, weapons training, knives, pistols, shotguns, rifles, wilderness training, compartmentalization, lip reading, face reading. The list is one that you will build as you go. In time, you will understand what is necessary and what isn't. Don't rush yourself. Start with gymnastics. Study your target. Jack Joyce. He is the one person who can help you in your mission. He is the exception to rule number 1. You can trust him. Learn what you can about Jack. Study him from afar, but do not approach him directly. You aren't the only one watching him. On October 9th, 2016, you will rescue Jack Joyce. From there, the next steps will reveal themselves. Be patient with him. He's stubborn, reckless, naive, but you can't do this without him. And he has his moments. He's much smarter than he seems at first. Don't mistake grief for stupidity. Study your objective. The countermeasure. This is the device that was built to stop the fracture in time. This is your objective. Find the countermeasure and use it to stop the fracture. Achieve this, and the world will be saved. The device was built by Jack's brother, Dr. William Joyce. Any attempt to contact William or find the countermeasure before the onset of the fracture will be in vain. Wait. Jack will show you the way. Retrieving the countermeasure will not be a simple task. It will involve great hardship and sacrifice. When the time comes, you will be ready for this. When you first read this, it won't make much sense to you. Over time, you will believe every word, but you will feel underprepared. You will wish that I had told you everything. I promise you that what is written here is everything you will need in order to get you where you need to be. I know this, because I'm already there. Chin up, Toto. You're going to achieve amazing things. Signed, you. And that's 12 out of 12 narrative objects. They save that best for last. I'm so sorry. Wasn't quite expecting that. Thank you. Unlock that one now. A little shortcut.
Looks climbable.
All right. Almost around to the other button here. Let's grab upgrade points. Beth, look away. Grabbing my points.
All right, that's it. Hit.
Yeah, this looks sturdy, sure.
Why the hell would your brother put maintenance controls way up there?
That's exactly the kind.
Shit. Still getting used to that.
Yeah, tell me about
Don't
it.
expect to.
Nice to have a friend in here, though. Oh. I've magically jumped directly into the singularity there. That's not what I intended. Let's try that again. Ahem. Almost did the exact same thing again. That angle's a little weird.
All right, all lights are green.
Try not to fall directly into the singularity with your legs, Jack. Foolish boy. It is so nice to see you all there in the chat. Thank you for hanging out with me. Been too long since we've been quantum breaking. Is there one more like down here? I always forget this is a accessible space, so I never check it for collectibles. Maybe it's not an accessible space when it's on. I should probably be more careful with my head. I don't know where that last thing is. Let's try to find it, just since we did find all of the narrative objects. It would be a shame not to get all of these. Is it up here? No Nope, can't get in there. All right. Maybe it was up there and I missed it. Yeah, it seems like it's maybe on the diving board itself. Just in case, let's clamber up there. One more time. If I can get the last chronon source, all the better. Now it seems further. I'm never sure what to make of that. Like, I don't even know for sure if it's pointing out the chronon sources. Probably research that. There, finally. A little bit confusing, but we got it. And I think we can safely say those are pointing out chronon sources. High and low, you'll find it eventually. See if I can skip the ladder this time. Haven't wanted to damage my anks. Alright, we're all set, Sophia. Do you need me to... Oh, am I pushing buttons? Activate the corridor. I forget which one that was. Oh, I must need to actually... That's probably why they ended me back up here. So sorry. Not thinking through this very logically. See if I need to push these now. All green. Single-use ankles. Yes, budget plastic.
This may actually work. It's ready. It's actually functional.
Okay.
Yep. That's
We're
my
doing
brother.
this. I'll set the
Does
date
good
in the
work.
console.
Setting the date.
July 4th, 2010.
Going 6
Are you ready?
years into the past. With Beth.
No. Are you?
And here we go.
This is it. There's no turning back.
Hey, wait.
Fingers crossed.
What did you do? That was the wrong door.
What?
You changed the date. Where is she?
Why did you send Beth?
Where is she?
I had no choice. I couldn't let you take the countermeasure. It would put our entire plan.
Alright, shoot her.
I already called Monarch from the terminal.
I'm prepared to
They're on
murder.
their way.
That's all it took.
It's over. What did you do?
Fuck!
We need the countermeasure to run the lifeboat.
No, you don't. This is the whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, you do. I know that you believe that.
I'm gonna follow through with the plan. Tie her up and get as far away from here as you can.
I will. You just take care of yourself, Jack.
Good luck, Amy. So I'm going to 6 years
Okay.
in the past. We have no idea where Beth ended up. And I guess that explains why she had so much time to graffito the walls. I'm so sorry, Beth. Here we go. This is my actual first time traveling, isn't it? I have not gone around yet. I can't tell if that's an image of me going through or Beth. That looks like Beth. Seems very simple. The process of time travel is beautiful and elegant. That's all it took. No jarring
Your
flame
first journey back in
trails.
time, 2010. This is where our notes get hazy.
All right, happy Independence
You know
Day.
how it ended.
Your goal when you arrived was to retrieve the countermeasure.
But my goal had to wait.
Slash any other day.
Because I wasn't
really?
alone.
What's going on here? Since when did Will run a graffiti workshop? None of this crap was here in 2016.
I'm guessing that means that Beth went much further back in time and has been waiting around for all of us. But how much exactly? From William Joyce to Beth Wilder. Leaving the workshop now. Actually, let me check to make sure there's not an earlier one. To Beth Wilder from William Joyce. It's finished. It's finally finished. Tests are all positive. I have officially constructed a working countermeasure for a fracture in time. I can't prove it, obviously, since there's no fracture to deploy it against, but I believe it will work. It has passed every test I can conceive. There is no reason I can see that it wouldn't. Given your knowledge of the future, I'm guessing you already knew this would be the date I completed my work. This day has been a long time coming. I was beginning to doubt it was possible. I haven't heard from you in almost 2 years now. So he would have last heard from her in 2008, I guess? Please tell me if you're still out there. Actually, there's more messages, so sorry. Here we go. To William Joyce from Beth Wilder. I'm now going to ask you to do something that will sound counterintuitive. Leave the workshop. Leave the countermeasure behind and do not return until tomorrow morning. As with all of my orders, it is best that I don't go into further detail. From William to Beth, okay, leaving the workshop now. The countermeasure is secured in my safe. I know better than to ask the reasoning behind this request. In 11 years, you've never been wrong. 11 years. Wow. So since at least 1999, then. And I don't want to know about the future, anyway, but that won't make this easier for me to digest. Can we meet tomorrow? Now that the device is complete, I need to know what the next steps are. And please be careful with the countermeasure. It's tremendously powerful, and sourcing the chronon particles for it alone has taken over a decade. I guess that I'm thinking, like, how far back in time did she go? We already know there's the rule. You can't go further back than the first time the core was activated in 1999. So she must have just sent her as far back as she could, which left her in 1999. That makes perfect sense. Alright, please be careful with the countermeasure. It's tremendously powerful, and sourcing the chronon particles for it alone has taken over a decade. Rebuilding would take me years and years.
Hey, Bobby Radford coming at you on 4th of July. And what a fine day it is, too. Things are looking up for Riverport. Don't believe me? Just look at that shiny new Monarch building going up. That's a big deal for this town. Sure, I know there's been complaints. Talking about how Monarch's tearing down this or that, taking over the mom-and-pop spots, making Riverport more corporate. Some of that's happening. It ain't all good. A huge corporation like that, you know, they're all about power and profit. But I say, hold on there. Put it in perspective. This town's been miserable for a long time. A long time. When our shipbuilding industry took that final nosedive, we hit one hell of a slump. A lot of people I know have been unemployed for years now, and that's hard. But Monarch's here. And they're starting to change that big time. So they ain't perfect. So what? It beats the alternative. I want to be optimistic about this. It ain't wrong to have a little hope for the future. I want to believe that this is capitalism working as intended, you know? The American way, you could say.
Yeah. A lot of people want to believe that capitalism works as intended in the American way. But what would that be? Sounds like someone has I was noticing those cutouts there, like gun targets for a gun range, which we did see Beth walk past in the future. But I don't know if it's William or Beth back there now. and how they're going to react to
What
me.
the hell is that? The fuck are they shooting at?
It's funny, too, how many ways they found to make this single swimming pool level a unique collectible area. We've gone around and around this room so many times, finding brand new narrative objects every time. I think, yeah, that's good use of your resources there.
It's locked. I gotta check out that gunfire before I go anywhere else.
All right. Go check out that gunfire, you curious, curious boy. It's time. Not sure what that is exactly. Hey, Beth! I would literally say this is the outfit. Like, there's that control board where they're monitoring Jessie Faden. She met in a diner with somebody wearing that hoodie and that hat.
Beth? It's me. Hey. What happened to you?
I'm sorry it took me so long. I read your secret diary and,
Jack? Dr. Emerald
don't
sent me to
peek
the
outside.
station. I
No,
thought
that's
Lamarck's
not for
trying to
you.
Find a way to get back. I wasn't the only one.
So I don't even think Sophia Amaral sent her to 1999. I think she just, like, messed it up so that she went nowhere. She went to the end of time, just like Paul Serene did. And then they had to take an action to get
He
back
set
to
Williams'
19.
machine to 1999. The first possible exit point.
Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Don't shoot!
It's okay. Hey, it's okay. Ah, it's okay. I'm on your side.
Who are you?
I'm Beth Wilder. There's some things you need to know.
So I wonder if she was just in the end of time for that, like, scene there? Like, she and Paul just chaotically scrambled for a couple of minutes and then she went back to 1999?
We should get ready. We don't have much time.
This is very true. If you end up at the end of time, you can finally have lunch. And you can take as long as you want.
She had changed.
Finally chew thoroughly.
And there was a weight in her eyes. She was hiding something.
She always was.
Alright, what do we have here? Toilet memories. My favorite.
Can't do this anymore. Can't. I can't fucking do this.
I'm sorry for everything I put you through, Beth. Meeting me really has been a low point of your life.
What exactly do you believe changed in Beth?
She lost hope.
Alright, February 28th, 1999. Beth's journal. Here I am, back in a time I've already lived once before. No idea how long I'll need to stay here. No idea what comes next. This isn't how it was supposed to go. This wasn't the plan. If I'm going to come to terms with that, then I'm going to need to write it all down. There's nobody to tell this to but myself, so hello me again. This all started back in 2016. Jack and I kidnapped Dr. Amaral. We were supposed to use the time machine to travel back to 2010 and retrieve the countermeasure. I believe Dr. Amaral switched the date at the last moment. I heard Jack calling out, but it was too late. I was already inside. There was nothing to do but keep moving forward, and when I exited the corridor, I arrived in the one place I never thought possible: the end of time. My greatest fear was realized. I'm still trying to grasp what that means. My entire life has been devoted to stopping the fracture, and what I saw? Was it proof that it couldn't be stopped? I can't believe that. There is a logic to all of this, a meaning. I just haven't found it yet. I'm not ready to write down details of the end of time. Not yet. The essential part of the story is that I found a way back. I spent a long time trying to fix William's machine, but somebody beat me to it. He set a course to the earliest time the machine could operate, so it does seem like she spent a while. I spent a long time trying to fix William's machine, and what is the definition of a long time in that sort of state? So who knows how many years passed, or how many days passed, at least. The first time the core was activated, February 28th, 1999, I followed him through. That's when I found William, still alive, much younger than I had ever seen him. I warned him about the fracture. I told him that he was the only one who could create a solution. He begged me not to tell him anything else about the future. He said he couldn't stand living like that, being constantly aware of what will come to pass. His every action just part of the preordained dance. I wanted to tell him more, but I know how he felt. William agreed to do what must be done. He agreed to build the countermeasure. This whole time it was me who set him on that path. He says the machine doesn't have the sufficient chronon capacity to return me to the future. He says a jump that far would be nearly impossible without a substantial scientific breakthrough. Apparently that hasn't happened yet. That's his way of saying that I'm trapped in 1999. Second time around. So, here I am. July 19th, 1999. Time machine move equals success. I worked with Will to get the time machine moved. Had to make sure Serene wouldn't be able to use it to his advantage, so we moved it to the one place I knew it would be safe. Bradbury Swimming Pool. Will spent a big chunk of his research grant buying the property. It's the one place I know for sure that Monarch won't find us. After all, they still weren't aware of it in 2016. That means this is my new home for the time being. Will refuses to build the countermeasure here. He says that it has to be done at his workshop. He chose that location to build the time machine for a reason. Something about abnormal chronon density, anomalies, whatever. It didn't seem to concern him that the very people we need to hide from know about his workshop. Probably doesn't help that he won't let me tell him who those people actually are. Guy's almost as stubborn as his brother. Now that the move is complete and Will is on his way, all I can do is wait. Not liking the idea of that. Keeping busy was the only thing that distracted me from the eerie nature of being trapped here. I guess I should look at the bright side. Second chance at having a killer Y2K party, huh? September 5th, 1999. Little me. The most surreal experience. Her eyes looked so full of life, looking to the clouds, invulnerable to the world around her. She looked full of life. She looked happy. It was me. I knew the day was coming. I knew that I had to go see her and set her on her mission so that she would do what needed to be done, so that someday she would become, well, me. She was in the backyard, a bright red duffel coat, playing simple pleasures. It's strange. I remember the small details so differently the first time around. When I was a child, that woman who came to see me seemed like an angel, like a limitless source of wisdom gifting me with purpose, and now I was that woman. Trembling, a lump in my stomach, nervous as hell. It didn't matter. I knew she was too young to see those things on my face. I gave her the notebook. I told a small child to give up those simple pleasures to pursue a life that would bring nothing but pain and hardship. I promised her that it would all be worth it, that she would make a difference, that she would save the world, and she believed me. January 1st, 2000. Epic Y2K party. Ate bagels with cream cheese, watched Buffy reruns in a drained swimming pool. Party on! September 11th, 2001. 9/11. I tried to stop it. Second time. I warned them. I told them exactly what was going to happen. And nothing changed. I came to terms with the fact that none of this could be changed as a child, but since then I've seen things that make me desperate to prove myself wrong, desperate to believe that what I have seen cannot come to pass. I tried to stop the rise of Monarch. I tried to stop Paul Serene, both versions of him. Every action was negated by the force of a timeline that cannot be bent and cannot be broken. I've tried to stop tragedy as well. Jack's parents' Christmas of 1999. I knew what happened to them. This time I was there. The car crashed exactly as it was supposed to. My presence only led it to happen, as it always did. I went to the funeral, and I watched Jack cry, and I watched Will build up a wall around himself. I watched two brothers change forever in that moment, and I could do nothing about it. And now this? Fuck. May 22nd, 2002. Monarch. They spotted me near William's workshop. Barely got out of there alive. After all this time, Serene is still obsessed with finding me. He won't give up until he does. Have to be more careful in the future. That's also very interesting. We didn't know when we read the journal why she specifically told Beth, you cannot let Paul Serene see you ever. It's because he would very distinctly remember the face of the only other person who appeared in the end of time with him before they escaped. So it's like, yeah, he would know who Beth is. May 22nd, 2003. The end of time. Been having recurring nightmares about what I saw. I've been dreading doing this, but it's time. I have to write it out. It's the only way to move past it. So in 2016, I entered the time machine, intending to travel back to 2010. That didn't happen. Dr. Amaral changed the date, and when I exited the machine, I arrived at the end of time. The fracture had run its course. Time had stopped altogether. The entire world was frozen in one hanging moment. I was the only one still able to function, or so I thought. And then the shifters came. I could still hear them. Their sounds echo through my dreams. The entire world was still except me, and they really don't like movement. I'd stepped out of the machine into the one thing I spent my entire life trying to prevent. The fracture was never fixed, and I was living through the proof. The first hours were the hardest. I was living through a nightmare I couldn't wake up from, surrounded by constant reminders that my mission would fail. Never able to stay in one place because the shifters were always searching, always hunting. I wasn't alone. I discovered the first evidence of this a few days in. I heard the shifters become agitated, but I was nowhere near them. They were following somebody else. Paul Serene, a younger Paul, scared, weak, vulnerable. He found me. He tried to convince me that we needed to work together, to help each other through. He found out very quickly that I wanted him dead. He had no training, no killer instinct, but he had those damn powers, and all I had was the Chronon harness. That's so sad that, Beth, knowing what becomes of Paul, aggressively confronted him which a younger Paul, unprepared for that sort of aggression, not knowing why or what he had done to deserve it, became all hardened and battle-worn and turned into exactly the person that he is now. And it's just a tragedy. The end of the world. The only two people left, and we became sworn enemies. I can't be sure how long we spent there. It could have been months, it could have been years. When time doesn't move, it feels like an eternity. Our grip on reality slipped away, trapped in an endless loop of brutal survival. Though we were enemies, there was a strange bond formulated through that suffering. We've shared an experience that no other human has ever endured. It's like, that is so singularly interesting to me, that they're the only two who ended up sort of outside of reality, in a way, outside of the end of time, and that they're the two people who are referenced in Thomas Zane's poem, or at least their last names to some extent. The whole, a deeper, darker ocean green, where the waves are both wilder and more serene. Like, why are the two of them singularly important and separated from the events of the other games? I'm really curious. Eventually, Paul managed to get William's time machine working. He was convinced that he needed to travel back to the earliest possible point in order to stop all of this from happening. He had yet to learn that the past couldn't be changed. I followed him through the machine, but he escaped. He formed Monarch. He built an empire. I watched the birth of a monster, and I can't escape the feeling that my actions helped shape what he became. Maybe I could have guided him? Maybe if I hadn't tried to hunt him down and kill him at the end of time. That can't be my part in all of this. There has to be more. I wake up in a cold sweat most nights, and I hear the shifters coming. I can feel their presence. Much of my experience at the end of time has become a blur in my memory, but there is one detail that I can't shake, one detail that brings my entire mission into question, and one detail that haunts me. 2021. February 3rd, 2005. Hobbies. 5 years until the countermeasure will be complete. I spend most of my days training. I don't know what happens once the device is finished, but being prepared is my specialty. I still wonder if Jack will follow the plan, if he'll emerge from that machine in 2010. It's best not to think about it. I'm not giving up, but I can't let these thoughts consume me. I need to focus on the present and focus on what is in front of me. That's the mantra that keeps me going. Just focus on the present. So, I decided to take on some hobbies. I tried poetry, got depressed, dabbled with the guitar for a while, smashed it against the wall. Then I started experimenting with graffiti. That seems to be working out okay for me so far. It's fulfilling on a few different levels, partly as a form of self-expression, partly as a means of release, and partly just to fuck with people. What happens when Joe analyzes some graffiti on a wall one day, builds an interpretation in his head, and then 3 years later his depiction of that image comes true? I'm not sure, but it's fun to think about. I can't change anything, but at least this gives me the illusion of some kind of power, and that illusion is what keeps me holding on. Sometimes I leave anonymous notes in people's mailboxes telling them what will happen next week. I watch their reactions from afar. Voyeurism and graffiti, that is my life these days. Focus on the present. Seeing you're headed out, thank you very much for stopping by, and definitely shoot me a message anytime with troubleshooting stuff. I appreciate it. Alright, October 8th, 2007. Jack. I started watching him recently. I know Monarch is tracking him, so I keep my distance. I wasn't sure why I felt a need to follow him, to watch his life from the outside, but now I think I understand. I met Jack in the wake of his brother's death, the onset of the fracture, the worst day of both of our lives. He was broken. That's the only Jack I ever knew. There's There's some kind of comfort in seeing him in happier times. I watched his band play a gig nearby. Atrociously bad, whiny emo music. Definitely a music movement I didn't need to live through a second time, but there was something pure about seeing him up there, just letting it all out. He never had an easy life. It was nice to see that he found a way to release all of that. He just looked happy, It made me forget everything else. The nightmares stopped for a while after that. So I kept following him. It gave me something else to focus on. I spent most of my life hiding who I am and what I know. I knew Jack for less than 24 hours, but he's the only person I've opened up to about everything. I told him the truth, and he believed me. I wish I could thank him for that. I'm not sure what I'm going to tell him if he comes through that machine on July 4th, 2010. What will he think when he sees me? 11 years will have passed. I look like I've aged 3 lifetimes since then, and for him, it could only be a matter of minutes. What do I say? That I saw the end? That this might all be for nothing? I was the one who believed without question that we would stop the fracture, and that confidence has now been replaced with insecurity and weakness. I fear letting him see that. I fear that he'll see the doubt in my eyes. For years I felt invincible and full of hope, but I'm not that woman anymore. I'm scared. It is so interesting that, she had all this. She keeps mentioning that I've seen the proof that our plan is never going to work, or at least that's the insinuation of it, because if the end of time happened and she saw Paul Serene there, and the rule with time is that nothing can change, and that is part of the timeline, the end of time, that will have to happen. It can't not. And so she's already lived past the apocalypse we're trying to prevent in a reality where the past cannot be changed. Is the reason she is having such a struggle now. So Jack has not had that perception yet. He has not seen the end of time, and he still believes we can probably change this. December 11th, 2007. Memory. Tonight I painted something at the university campus. It was only after I was finished and took a step back to look at it that I realized I've seen it before, about a decade ago. Remains of something painted on a wall but washed away. It was a jolt. Is all of this futile? Nothing sticks? Nothing has changed? All of it washed away by the river of time? Fucking time travel. Anyway, so July 9th, 2008. Will. I've been in contact with Will every 6 months or so. Short exchanges, just to get an update on his progress building the countermeasure. He's still at least 2 years away from the completion, but he's now confident that he knows how the countermeasure will work. He told me that the countermeasure will be able to reverse a fracture in time, but in order to do so, it must be activated early in the escalation of the fracture. Once the fracture runs its course, once the end of time is reached, he believes the countermeasure will be rendered ineffective. I asked him what it would mean if the end of time ever occurred, and he said it would mean that the fracture was never stopped. It would mean that we failed. I should have just let her explain it. I'm sorry. July 21st, 2008. Everything I've done has been for nothing. July 4th, 2010. Final entry. The day is here. Soon I will receive word that William has completed the countermeasure. I'm sure of it. I've come to accept that this doesn't mean we will succeed. I've come to accept that my mission was a lie. But I'm not giving up. Pardon me. Lie or not, I devoted my life to this cause. It gave me meaning. It's all I've ever known. Even if I've seen the proof that I won't succeed, I'm not giving up. I will dedicate every ounce of courage I have left to seeing this through. I will retrieve the countermeasure. I will keep it safe until 2016. I will do everything in my power to activate it when the time comes. I will fail, but I will fail knowing that I did everything in my power to save the world. For years I hoped that this would be the day when I would see Jack again. But I've given up that hope. This mission started with me alone, and that's how it will end. This will be my final entry. So that's why she kind of collapsed when she saw us. She had finally given up hope that I would ever arrive. And then bam, here I am. Oh hey, sorry, I was reading your private thoughts. There's something. I probably have a few of these upgrade points to spend, too, next time we get involved in combat.
What have we got here?
I guess there's no time like the present, really. We have 13 upgrade points available. What do we got? Extra activation of dodge, yes. That'll take 6. Reduced cooldown for Time Blast. I am tempted. Let's do that. And I don't think I have any other level 1s. I do not. Alright. One more object. Pardon us, Beth.
11 years.
It's just her keeping track on the wall of calendars. Goodness. Countermeasure, July 4th, 2010. It's all been leading to this.
I'll unlock the door.
Alright.
So where's Will?
I'll follow.
Where's the countermeasure?
The countermeasure's at William's workshop, where he built
At the docks. Alright.
Then that's where we go.
Yes. That was the plan. Just have to unlock this. My supplies are upstairs. We'll need to get them. There's so much you don't know, that you never saw.
That's cool.
I gave up on the idea that you would ever come.
I don't know if it is a particular shape or if it's just something abstract. Must be a face. Huh. Not sure if it's me or who. It's very dark back here. I don't suppose you have a flashlight, Beth?
I need to know we're still in this together.
I told you once our fate is already laid out for us. I still believe that. More than ever. I'm just worried what that might mean.
Mm-hmm.
It means we finish this.
Oh, I am too, Beth. Now that I've caught up to where you are, I'm quite worried.
You need gear? Take whatever you need. The rest of it's going in the river. Along with everything else I brought here.
That's a little drastic.
My time here is done, Jack.
Below us?
I have to erase my presence.
Seems like we're very close to it there.
Let me know when you're ready to go.
Okay, so we have a bunch more stuff to look at, and it looks like we're gonna get combat-y real quick. What have you brought for us? Stick with our heavy. I think we have that already. Probably want to stick with the machine gun. Though a carbine rifle is tempting.
Ready when you are, Jack.
Let's go assault and... let's try carbine. 20 shots. Versus 19. I don't know why this isn't giving me machine gun ammo. Okay, then I'll swap. I'll at least have one extra shot. Okay, so I can talk to Beth whenever we're ready. I would like to find that last thing.
You followed
Rise of Monarch whiteboard.
Why did he travel so far back?
To form Monarch. Prepare for what's coming.
You kept tabs on him.
And he's kept tabs on me.
Interesting. Martin Hatch was hired in 2001, and there was no information about him prior to 2001. What's special about 2001 that Martin Hatch appeared? Because then it's not until October 2006 when he's promoted to Monarch spokesperson. And every promotion he receives results from a blood trail, like a trail of blood. He's been killing his way up the ranks of Monarch secretly. Hatch is the real wild card in all of this for me. Like, some of the stuff we'll know by the end of the game, how it resolves, but Hatch, we don't know how that resolves by the end of the game. And,
Okay. The countermeasures at Will's
It's
workshop.
new 2010.
You find it? Then what?
You bring it back here, use the machine, and return to the future. Use it to stop the fracture. That was always the plan.
That is still the plan.
Yes.
GZ incident. What does that mean? Or 6Z incident? Not sure. Return to Bradbury. Time travel back to 2016 after original departure. Oh, so she was... This is completely without my involvement. I like that. So she was going to try it anyway and then see if she could meet up with me in 2016. I'm glad we get to do it together. Alright, so let me run downstairs just in case I'm missing an upgrade. Seems like it's right below that diner area. There we are.
There we go.
3 out of 3. Perfect. It's Beth time. Oh, that's very kind of you to say. Enjoyable commentary. I hope so. Thank you all for bearing with my mad ramblings on the many subjects of time travel.
I can't imagine what happened to you. When you entered that machine, I wanted to go after you, but I didn't know where Sophia sent you or how to find you.
You made it here. It's all that matters. You followed the plan.
Whatever happened to you, change it.
Don't.
We can fix this.
Don't.
We can undo this.
You still don't get it. It can't be changed. No matter what we do, the pieces fall in all of the exact same places. I've tried. Over and over.
I can't just sit back and do nothing.
You have to let go. Jack. You have to let go. I've seen it. The end of time. That is where she sent me. I was there. I've been fighting this fight my entire life, and I saw us fail. I saw where this leads. I just don't know anymore. I don't know if we can win this thing.
So grateful for Control, because man, she deserved to be the lead in this. Love you, Sean, but oh, Beth. Very glad she got her due.
Then we'll die finding out.
I'm part of your plan now. I'm just here to help. Act 4, Part 4. We're getting there. Hopefully this will be a little bit more of an action sequence and less to read, but we'll see. Although I have been having fun screaming at you.
I don't know a fraction of the hell that Beth went through, what she experienced when she saw the end of time, how that changed her, like it changed Paul.
It's the Monarch Tower,
Followed
like
by
half
11 years
constructed.
of living like a ghost. Beth I'd known had laser focus. This Beth, she had doubts.
You okay?
Yeah.
But the countermeasure, the one thing that could set things right, was waiting for us at Will's workshop.
There it is.
All right.
In 2010, Monarch didn't own the area yet. That came shortly after because of what happened with you. But we knew William was building something new in his workshop, and we knew it must be important. We were monitoring the place.
Yeah, Beth knew about your presence.
Been drinking
She'd
heavily?
done spying on her own. We came over the rooftops to avoid detection.
Does Will know we're coming?
No, he doesn't.
Hello down there. Stricken with grief? I have news that might help. We're all going to die soon. All right, that should make him feel better. What do we got?
Who the hell turned out the...
Whoops. Sorry.
Is that just completely optional? Did I not need to do that? I thought for sure, like, okay, no, I get it. We're turning off the power.
I quit.
I just made a guy run right off the job site in indignation. Sorry, guys. I thought that was important to the plot. After you, Beth.
From this point on,
my
we're in their
eggs.
sights. We need to be quick.
Were you hovering? Are you a witch, Beth? You need to tell me these things so I know how to best use our tool set. No, yeah, that's the one. You can grab it with that button instead of just looking at it. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Let's pop in some new plastic ankles there, and we're good.
Hey, Will?
He's not here. I made sure of that.
What? Why? He's the only one that knows how to use the countermeasure.
Which is why he
So that's what that note she left for Will was. Like, once you're done with the countermeasure, get out of there for the day.
Fine.
And don't come back and don't
Get the
ask me
device.
why.
Then you lead me to my brother.
Sure.
Now, where do we find this thing?
Because she knew
Will
I
said
was
he secured
coming.
it inside a safe.
Or that she
Somewhere
would
in the
have to steal
building.
it regardless.
All right, Will. Where'd you hide that safe? This must be where he built it.
Will's journal. Countermeasure is near completion, June 7th, 2010. I should be celebrating, I should be excited. 11 years of work is coming to an end, but there is a weight on my mind. I can't shake it off. Jack came to see me. He found out that I sold our parents' house to continue funding my research. Understandably, he was furious. After all, the house was left to both of us. He doesn't understand the necessity of what I'm doing here. Talking turned to yelling, yelling turned to pushing, pushing, as you know, turned to snuggles. He told me it wasn't mine to sell. He told me they were his parents too, and he told me that I was a piece of shit. He didn't mean that, William, I'm sorry. I was angry. I couldn't contain myself, and then I said it. I still don't believe the words came out of my mouth. I told him that it was his fault. Car crash. I told him that he was to blame for everything we'd been through, and I knew it was the one thing that could truly hurt him, so I used it. I can justify my actions as a result of months of fatigue, frustration, lack of sleep, but it was wrong, and I knew it as soon as I said it. He stood there, devastated for what felt like minutes. I could see a wall building between us. He told me he's leaving this town. He's never coming back. That was 3 days ago. I haven't been able to reach him since. I can't sleep. I can't eat. Can't concentrate. I know the countermeasure will be finished soon, but that victory is a hollow one now. I spent 11 years building a device to save the world. The only thing that kept me going all this time was the fact that there was one person in this world that I needed to protect, no matter what the cost, and I just lost him.
It's April 2nd, 1999. It's been about a month since the incident. Since I was shot by the man from the future. Since Wilder. I've moved the machine. Hidden it. I wish I could destroy it, but,
Hey, Beth.
I made it tell me as little as possible. The more you know about what'll happen,
Bye,
the worse
Beth.
it'll be. We're all puppets. I can take that for as long as I can't tell the difference. I think she understood. Doesn't matter anyway. She told me the fracture is gonna happen because of what I did. It's... I have to fix it. I have to. I don't know how yet. I have to build a
hey, Beth.
countermeasure of some kind. I know the theoretical mechanism of the field's collapse, but how to stop it?
Oh, bye, Beth.
I won't reverse it. It'll take years of research. I have no idea how to do this. How to pay for it. I don't know. Wilder's from the future. And she came to me. I have to assume that I was successful, right?
Yeah. You gotta assume
Why else
that.
would she come to me?
Oh, hey, Beth.
He was planning on giving it to you.
Bye, Beth.
And it was stolen before he ever had the chance. Which means this is the only way it can play out.
There's some things you need to know.
You're the only one who can stop it.
There's no theoretical groundwork. It could take even years to build.
Practice gun safety.
And it
man.
will. You'll have to keep it a secret. Even from the ones you love. It's the only way to keep them safe. You witnessed one, didn't you? An echo.
Yep, that's why I was staring into space over here.
It was you.
A long time ago now.
Hey, River Boy. I'm pretty sure you folks are having a better time than I am. Old Bobby's still stuck in the studio just a little while longer. Whereas all of you folks are out there enjoying what I hope are spectacular 4th of July parties. So set up some fireworks, eat a little too much, drink until every joke you hear is funny, and spend some time with your loved ones. Appreciate the good things in your life, you know? This country ain't perfect,
try.
but it's still pretty damn good, and it's sure as hell worth celebrating. I'm about done here myself. I can't wait to get home, crack open a beer or 3, and kick back with the people I love most. We're gonna appreciate that this year's better than last year, and we've all got good things to look forward to. And isn't that what today's really all about? Being safe and free, not having to be afraid, knowing that we've made a future for ourselves, and that it's all gonna be all right. Yeah. Riverport, this is Bobby Radford, signing off.
Okay, something back there. That looks like probably where we're meant to go. Check around a bit more.
Let's see here.
Oh, wrong button. Alright, Will's whiteboard. Call Jack on birthday. Apologize to Jack for not calling on birthday. June 2nd, don't forget. Don't forget what? Thanksgiving reminder. Pay electricity. Get electricity turned back on. Jack's birthday, June 2nd. That's it. Okay, buy groceries. Give Beth an update on the status. Erase this. June 2nd. Damn it. Apologize to Jack again. GMDR. What does this note mean? Okay, buy whiteboard eraser. Meet with bank for a loan. Shower first. No, seriously. Shower. It's been a rough time. When you're doing science, there's hardly time for...
The device wasn't there. But it must have been at one time.
I guess this was what I was looking for.
The power setup wasn't working. But it must have worked at some point.
Maybe I can rewind time to get this working.
Oh, it must have been there at some point. I see what he's saying. So I should be able to grab the countermeasure from out of that singularity there. But let's grab this room. Jump into this room.
Shit. Locked out again. Where was the failsafe switch? Follow the wire. Which one was it? Blue? Or was that the emergency shutdown? Oh, shit. I knew I should have labeled the wiring.
Oh, you should always label your wiring.
No one will. That's where the safe is.
And open sesame.
Emergency shutdown initiated.
Shit! Ass! Fucking goddamn it! Yellow wiring to it.
I enjoyed that. There's nothing but curse words in there. Except for the word it, I guess.
You'd been there before. Witnessed flashes through time. I assume pieces of that puzzle had come together since.
And some are yet to come.
Alright, I guess I'm starting with this thing. Did not get it in time. I thought I had the prompt, but alright. Return to Beth. Coolest lock-picking sequence ever. Time machine designs. Alright, everyone memorize them. We'll build our own. Especially that little chamber with the stick figure man in the very center there. We're gonna need detailed diagrams of that. Alright, you got it? Good.
He didn't leave the code. But I can crack it. I just need some time to...
Sounds like we
Someone's
have
here.
authoritative
Monarch.
company.
I knew it. I knew they'd find us.
I'll take care of it. Just get that safe open, stay inside.
Yeah.
Try to stop looking
Okay.
so desperately haunted. I mean, I know what's happened to you and all, but your eyes,
You'd been spotted the moment you arrived. You never had a chance. You were on a suicide mission.
Okay, there is no upper level.
I
Not
wasn't
sure why
gonna lie
those
down and
stairs
just
are
give
even
up without a
there.
Fight. Not then, not ever.
This is Trojan 1 approaching workshop perimeter. Over.
Remember, orders are to take her alive. Monarch Actual is en route.
Oh, are you not expecting to find me here? Well, that's going to be hilarious.
Stop right there. Where's the girl?
Hey.
I'm the girl.
Take it
It's
easy.
me.
He's got it! An open fire! What the fuck was that? Shoot it! We need backup! Shit!
That's it. That's how you reload. Oh, he broke the box as he died. He's gonna have to pay for that box posthumously.
Orders are to keep the mission quiet, tidy. We can't afford
Alright, how do you switch weapons? Fire weapon. Weapon selection, left, right, down. Alright.
Attention. He's fucking tearing us
There it
apart.
is. That's the good stuff.
Hold the perimeter.
Oh, Paul is on his way? Shoot. I'll be in trouble. Ah, terrible position for flanking. Covering fire there. Alright. Yikes. Eek. Suck a little air there, Jack. That's healing. Oh, yeah, that feels good.
Gotta move.
There's a grenade.
Gotta move.
That's it. There's a nice new clip. Alright.
Get out of my way.
Who's in your way, Beth? Oh, Paul made it to her, darn it. Alright, Paul. How do I get back there?
I said, get out of my way.
Gotta get back in.
Eh. Oh. I probably should have checked for upgrade points, but I'm worried about Beth. We're rushing. So what is this? Control.
Give me the device. Come with me. We can survive this together. You know it can't be stopped. I can see it in your eyes. You know this.
What if you're wrong?
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I think this is actually where it all started. Everything we've seen so far has kind of been like a, not an aftershock, a foreshock of this. Time has been ending ever since 2010.
We created Ground Zero. Caused everything to happen how it always did. Every piece falling into place.
Broke
Except
the tiny hedron.
The blast sent you through time, brought you back to 2016. The same exact
Hedron,
time
in this
that you
case.
left. Something anchored you there. We need to know how you did this.
You think I wanted to come back?
You think I know?
I was pulled away. Everything I came for was still back there. Left behind.
we all hadn't been bickering about the countermeasure, none of this would have happened. But now we've fractured time irreparably.
No, Beth.
And it's only going to get worse.
Come on, move. Beth, get up. Beth, come on, get up. Please, Beth.
Oh, this is unpleasant. I can do nothing to help.
Yeah, that's it. Get the gun. Come on, Beth, move.
I hope this moral support is counting for something.
Beth, move!
Beth, my treasure, you're gonna want to shoot him in his face.
Don't do it, don't!
I'm not even there.
I'm not wrong.
You can't.
No! No!
Serene had the countermeasure the whole time. I had to get it back.
A rash decision. You claim Beth Wilder's death had no impact on your behavior, but...
Like I said, I barely knew her.
I've just been reading her private
So,
diary
what
entries
you
for
did
some
next?
time. But I barely knew her.
It wasn't personal?
No.
Okay, yeah, it was a little personal. I can go ahead and speak for Jack here. And that's the problem with time travel in this game, is that, Beth died. And if something happens, well... it happens. We have one act remaining. And I'm very excited for it. Because genuinely, there's like... there are a lot of things that we get to know the end of here, and one of the things we don't is Martin Hatch. I'm very, very excited to get to know more about him, hopefully in the future. The other thing that it kind of ends on is Beth's ultimate fate. And I'm not going to spoil anything. I shouldn't even be saying this, but I'm very, very curious about Beth and what their actual plans are for her and how the development of this game led into, you know, choosing her to be the protagonist of Control. I think that there's more to it than that anybody really has caught on to yet. I think they have a lot of really cool stuff in store for us. But I'm just excited. I love this game. I love Beth. I'm heartbroken about Paul Serene, my dear friend, and my brother William. Thank you for making it through all of those emotional highs and lows with me. Yes, she is absolutely Jessie Faden from Control, not necessarily Beth herself. That's Courtney Hope, the actress, who does portray both Beth Wilder and Jessie Faden. And as far as we know, in the canon of it, there is no connection between the two of them, but I'm genuinely suspicious that there's more going on because of all those little hints they've been giving us. And just the structure of this, how it's so much about Beth, has me curious, rethinking things now that I've played Control. Anyway, a topic for another time. That is the end. After almost 3 hours here, goodness, 160 minutes of your time, just down the drain. But thank you, I had an absolute blast. I hope we'll be back very soon, maybe even on new hardware. If I can figure such a thing out for the final act of this, I cannot wait. And I will see you then. At the very least, tomorrow morning should be another session, if I can carve out some time from the editing booth. And I'll be back on your stream in an hour and a half. If I can carve out some time from the editing booth, yes. I would love to see some more Hollow Knight. That looks so pretty. I'm going to need to get Hollow Knight. Is pretty the word? It's horrifying, but so gorgeous and beautiful. So I will see you all soon. Thank you again. Much love to your Saturday, and any other day you choose to spend it on. Goodbye for now, and smooches.